So hello everyone once again and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chinyere of Gillette Style Glam. If this is your first time here with me, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your if you already subscribed to my channel, you're awesome. Welcome. So excuse me. So today okay. So what brings us here today? Well, since the last time we talked about Wendy Williams. Well, we have an update. So we have a couple of updates about the Wendy Williams issue. Apparently, the public opinion on this is rife, and everyone is speaking with one voice concerning Wendy. Now, when I recorded the last video, I had a sickening feeling inside of me. And that feeling, I couldn't shake it off because I had seen this, this Wendy situation play out somewhere, and it was in a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie I Care a Lot. I'm going to put a picture here for you to see. That movie got me so angry. And I had to ask myself, and I said, why are these people letting this woman get away with this? This is stealing people's money. And here we are. Now, we've got the update. First update we have. So, according to Fox Business, okay, this is the information we have so far. Now, Benny Roshan, who's a partner at Greenberg Glusker and chair of the Trust and Probate Litigation Practice Group, has questioned why Williams' guardian would attempt to prohibit income for the unemployed star. Again, I said it all in the last video. What are you stopping her from accessing her money to? In my opinion, I said it, that I would be pointing fingers at Wells Fargo because, again, Wells Fargo has had quite a lot of shady deals in the past. And they, we don't, with banks are the highest, they are the biggest, fraudsters, and a lot of people assume that the banks are your best friend, your banks are your best. No, they are not. They're the biggest fraudsters that exist. And when that happens, you realize that your money is not necessarily safe with them, because they do a lot of things with your money, and that sometimes they feel that they have a right to your money for whatever reason. And so that is the first red flag. Again, we talked about this the last time. Now, it's also saying that we have reports on The Guardian, whose name, as we found out, she's got a very weird name. She says her name is Morissey. Sabrina. Her name is Sabrina Morissey. Now, Sabrina Morissey, from what we have, says that who is The Guardian, purportedly tried to block the docuseries from airing without disclosing the underlying reason. Okay, so she didn't want people to see this because she definitely knew that when people saw this documentary, it was going to blow up in her face. Now, allegedly, we are also hearing that the judge who actually granted this guardianship is in bed with this same Morrissey woman, whose name is Liz Sokoloff, who's the judge. Okay, so again, we are looking at a lot of discrepancies in this Wendy Williams thing. Now, again, another thing was that the Guardians charged with that the Guardians, in the last video, I actually asked, I said, okay, so who is paying for this guardianship? Okay, Wendy Williams did not ask for a guardianship. Who is paying? Who has power of attorney in her account? Because more stories are coming out. And they're telling us right now that the Guardian is actually charged with safeguarding not to mention maximizing their words' financial well-being. Again, I have so many questions because, it's looking like the Guardian is being very, 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 very shady, extremely shady. Okay, because there has been another person whom the same Guardian has been linked to, and money went missing. Okay, then we now move on. They now says that Sabrina actually did sue Lifetime for injunctive relief. I forgot to get the meaning of injunctive relief. I have to do that. So she said that she fined Lifetime for injunctive relief. Meanwhile, Lifetime is still going to air the series as agreed. Now, injunctive relief is also known as an injunction. It's a remedy which restrains a party from doing certain acts or requires a party to act in a certain way. So she is asking for an injunction, probably for Lifetime, to possibly do things the way she wants them done, so that we the public are deceived and our eyes are removed from the main story or the purpose of this docu-series. And it is generally only available when there is no other remedy. So again, this is someone who is trying to cover her ass. She's trying to cover her behind. Now, this happens when there is no other remedy at law, and irreparable harm will result if the relief is not granted. Irreparable harm to who? That's the question we should be asking. Irreparable harm to who? And so we move on to that, because I want to just finish all these questionable question marks, and then I will now go into ranting well about what I saw in this docu-series. Okay, and so we now get to, we also now talk about the fact that the I've said it, the network will move on. In 2022, okay, it was a legal guardian was appointed for Wendy's finances and health, okay, and the documents were sealed. Again, why? Why were the documents sealed? The shadiness in Wendy's case is too much to be ignored. The things, the illegalities in Wendy's guardianship are too many to be ignored. Okay. Now he's saying that the documents were sealed. Okay. Now Wendy, on her own at the time, filed a temporary restraining order against Wells Fargo, asking the court to reopen her finances. And so, again, how is it that Wells Fargo is not implicated in this? Someone should help me make me understand it. How? How is Wells Fargo not implicated in this mess? Okay. Now we move on, and then we now talk about the fact that Williams, so who is asking for money and access? Who is asking for access to her own money and company statements? Now, from People magazine, it also says that. So I want to read from from Fox News, okay, Fox Business. Now, according to Fox Business, it says the bank reportedly maintained that Williams' financial advisor witnessed telltale signs of exploitation, including Williams' own expressed apprehensions, but also upon other independent third parties who know Williams well and share these concerns. From what we've seen, those who know Williams well are her family. So these third party people, we need to know who they are. Who are they? What are their names? What do they do? Where do they work? Okay. Now, one judge and 3 doctors say, my money is stuck at Wells Fargo. And I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it can happen to you. This was what Wendy said. Now, Wendy appears to be under a financial guardianship, which means all her financial decisions are made by a third party, court-appointed person who makes all the financial decisions on Wendy's behalf. Now, it also tells us that guardianships are fairly common where the impacted individual suffers from obvious cognitive impairments, as in Miss Williams' case, and do not have a designated person, such as a power of attorney. And that's a big fat lie, because we hear Wendy in the series, the moment they ask about her son, about the money, she says, everything I have is my son. Again, remember I asked in the last video, how are you stopping a son from being, he's the one who inherits it. So how, tell me, pray tell, are you, the bank, stopping the boy from still eating his own inheritance? Help me make it. Again, I want to understand, because it was obvious that Wendy may have forgotten a lot of things around her, but she didn't forget the name of any member of her family. She remembered her son. She saw her son and her eyes lit up and the smile on her face was wide. She knew that this was her blood. This is the person she loved more than anything in the world. And it was obvious. Now, we also have the story that her son was scrutinized for spending money. Now, we also heard it in the documentary that the son was saying, and he said that he doesn't spend money his mother doesn't approve of. Again, 100,000 was what was spent, and they're all going bonkers. Wendy is a millionaire. I'm using my Igbo accent now. Wendy is a millionaire. Okay? And so, a millionaire, 100,000 was spent. Only 100,000 pere was spent from her account for her son's birthday. And that is the red flag. Make it make sense. 100,000 was spent from the account for her son's birthday. And that is the red flag. Yeah. Oh, bikokwa. And it's quite sad when you listen to members of a family defend themselves as though they are thieves, as though they are criminals, which is not the case. They are not criminals. These are people who have love for their mother and their aunts and their sister. Okay? And it says for them to have a court case and rip him away, the same thing I said, and rip him away from taking care of his mother is very questionable. I said it. You remember it? I said it. It's very, very questionable. We go further to say that there is still hope, okay, that Wendy received that. Okay, so we ended that. And I want to address the one that say her name is Shawn Zanotti. That girl is high on something. There is something she's sniffing that is not in the market. There is something that she's taking. And I love the fact that Alex went to meet the production team and said, get this woman out of here. I don't know what she's all about. Get her out of here. There is something she's smoking that we don't see it in the market. It's not there. Because tell me, and you're asking her questions. She's building lies upon lies in answers, telling us how Wendy can control herself. At least Will, that's the manager, is aware and knows that Wendy is not allowed to take any form of alcohol. He's quite aware, and he plays that to the letter. Okay, he's quite aware that there were certain things Shawn did that were not right. Flying Wendy out, it's as though she's looking for something. It's as though she's looking for a situation where she becomes this trustworthy person Wendy knows and has, and then every other person around Wendy becomes a criminal. That is what I see here. And you see, in France, for example, so I want to give you guys an example. In France, it's taken very seriously when someone who's wealthy gets a form of caretaker or guardianship, and there is a form of abuse involved. it's taken extremely seriously, because most people know that a lot of old people, especially those who are wealthy, are easily maltreated and manipulated in their old age, again, due to cognitive issues. Sometimes it's the state who hires your caretaker for you. Sometimes you hire your caretaker yourself. And it has to be vetoed, and cleared. We've had a couple of cases recently in France where wealthy people are, in the courts right now as we speak. I can't remember his name. There's this French guy. Look for his name and put it here. Who the son was? She's actually the lady is actually facing court charges right now for maltreatment and manipulation. And this dude happened to be a French star. Okay. And we've seen this play out so many times. It has happened even, and again, one thing about France is they have under lock and key is family, that father and mother, okay, that your money automatically goes to the children. Even if it is stated in a will, okay, as stated in the will, everyone is going to get their cut. Where there is no will, where the man may die or the woman may die intestated, then they automatically keep the money for the kids till they're 18. And it never used to be the case until they realized that most parents tended to squander the money before the children grow, thereby leaving the French people with backlog of a lot of grace to grass stories, which they try to avoid. Okay, I remember when I took a life insurance claim. They asked me very, 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 very personal questions. Those questions were really, but I understood where they were coming from. So I had to be quite specific in my insurance claim, what was going to who. I was very, very, it's quite detailed, and that is what they actually do. And so it's in such a situation where they are very, very, very hard on things like that. It's strict. Okay. And here we are, a son who is being deprived of his mother's love and being able to take care of his mother. And then we have a criminal. Okay. We have somebody who it's obvious from her look, from her eyes, that she's looking to profit and gain from someone, from the malheur of a woman who is the love of the public. I questioned how she decided that Wendy was supposed to go for a meeting. Was she thinking to sign the contract papers on Wendy's behalf? I questioned the fact that she took Wendy to the Hall of Fame, the Hollywood Hall of Fame, or Walk of Fame, star of whatever they call it. I was actually like, is she okay in the head? And I was actually asking Wendy if she was going to go for the Oscars. Are you okay? I mean, is she really sane in the head? Because I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. What was she trying to do? What was she trying to prove? Well, update is that she's been fired. Will Selby has been fired because, and what I got from Will Selby, and what I think that, well, he deserved being fired, was when I heard him say that it's as that Wendy says she loves me and blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you people what are you all on about? You're supposed to be doing a job. Your job is to take care. What are you talk? What is all this love? Why is she loving you? As boyfriend, as what? As second husband? What is all this? And that was when I began to like, there's something wrong with these people somewhere. There's something, there's a form of machination going on here. What is this? It's so obvious that there is something fishy going on. I made a statement the last time, at a point I said, I kind of felt bad about that statement, but I said it. And at the end of the day, I was not wrong. That I was bothered that I was quite bothered. It's quite worrisome that white people are the people that are supposed to be taking care of Wendy's affairs. Here we have it. From the judge to the guardian. This is totally insane. I mean, what are we talking about here? This brings to mind Britney Spears. Again, if you have not seen the movie I Care a Lot, I beg you, I will put the picture, it's on Netflix. Go and watch that movie. There is nothing different from what is going on right now with what is happening with Wendy. Nothing. And like I said, her family has been phenomenal, extremely phenomenal. I know it hurts them so much that, they don't seem to recognize their sister. Their sister doesn't seem to recognize them anymore. I understand. I know it hurts them a lot. But I think respite is coming. I believe respite is coming. I believe that all these people in this, who are involved in this, I believe that the litigation that has been carried out by Greener, okay, I believe that the litigation is going to do something, okay? I believe that, sorry, it's not Greener, Greenberg, Glusker. I believe that his litigation is going to go somewhere. I believe so. I believe that Wendy should be taken back to her family. Yes. It was very obvious to see. It was obvious to see a different Wendy with her family and a different Wendy without her. It was obvious. We saw two totally different people. It was obvious that when Wendy was with her family, she had a level of coherence. It was obvious she lit up. And it's quite obvious that taking Wendy away from her family is actually the wrongest thing to have done. This guardianship system, that stinks. And except when there is light thrown at it, because if this could have gone unnoticed, but because Wendy is Wendy. I mean, the first thing they told us that she, Graves' disease and all. And we could have all decided, oh, Wendy is sick, and that's it, end it. It could have gone unnoticed. But thankfully, because it's Wendy, and because she's got family who have put themselves out there. And I still thank God that in a way, somehow, that Wendy was able to do this docuseries, and she was lucid enough and signed the contract for this docuseries at the time. Though the production team says if they had known, they wouldn't have. But how would we be able to fight and speak about it and call the names of all these people that we're calling out now if we didn't see this? So thank you to Lifetime. Thank you. Many people disappear from this world, no trace, and we don't know what happened because things like this happen. Families lose fortunes because things like this happen. Again, my question, the biggest question mark I have is, how do you separate a mother from her child who was taking care of her very, very well? Wells Fargo, how do you remove the child who is the inheritor and power of attorney? How were you able to come about the fact that Kevin Jr. is the criminal in all of this? How? That is just my own. How? Because, again, Wells Fargo, you are more questionable than Wendy. And on this note, guys, this is where I'm going to end this video. I would like to hear your input on this. I'd like you to leave your comments in the comment section below. I know a lot of you have different opinions about who Wendy is. And like I said in the first video, you love to hate her and you hate to love her. But she is Wendy and she's been doing her job, and she did a phenomenal job in radio and on TV. And there is nothing more we want than getting Wendy the help she needs. So I want you all, we're going to pray for Wendy. We're going to lift her to the Lord, especially this Lenten season. And we're going to pray that she gets better. And she is around the people she loves and those who love her. And on this note, guys, do not fail to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.